What's going on, family? Thank each and every one of you for joining us again on our Facebook page, and hopefully you're on YouTube as well, family. If you're in the live chat, can you do us a favor? Can you go ahead and put those hand clap emojis in the live chat? We're so grateful to see each and every one of you. And you know how we do every Wednesday night. We want you to communicate in the live chat, check on everybody, see how they're doing. And please, we want you to go ahead and like and share this message. Please like and share this message. We want to get the message out. So we're so grateful because we're doing something special today. We have our singles, man. We're so grateful to have them with us, and we're going to be focusing on this single and saved. We're going to be focusing on single and saved. So we're so grateful for this opportunity that we have to be with you on this beautiful day. But can you do me a favor? Can you go ahead and put some hand clap again emojis all in that comment section? We are so grateful to have you, and let us know where you're worshiping with us from. It might be in Raleigh, it might be in Rocky Mount. Wherever you see in this particular broadcast, please let us know. And YouTube family, I want y'all to get more into that comment section, talk to each other, greet each other like we do on Facebook. And we're so grateful for your positivity every week. So we're thankful for what we're getting ready to do in this Bible study. So let's get right into it. We're not going to waste your time. Well, I want to make sure that I introduce our powerful, powerful panel that we have on this beautiful Winning Wednesday. Can I start with you?
Tavisha. Tasha.
Isaiah.
Jamon.
They're so smooth and beautiful, don't you agree? If you love them, go on and put some hand clap emojis in the comment section. They tight, but it's going to get loose in a minute. So we're excited about what God is getting ready to say. And the last person that did not introduce themselves is my beautiful wife. Can you introduce yourself, baby?
Hi, I'm Crystal.
Yes, we're so grateful to have everybody with us. And we're going to get right into it, man. We're going to be focusing on this, again, embracing faith and purpose in your journey as being a single. So we want to make sure that we kind of open up to how it is to be single and saved, to go through all the adversity that you experience in life, because even as Christians, you still go through things that sometimes you question. So we want to make sure that we give you an opportunity just to see it from these people's perspective, and hopefully you're inspired of what God has to say to you. Let's start off with number one question. Number one, we're going to start off here. It says, what strategies do you use to invest in yourself, whether through education, entrepreneurship, or hobbies, while staying mindful of your resources?
I have to say, I think the misconception sometimes as a single person, well, oh, I'm single, no, I don't have anybody to hang out with, community. But I think it's the opposite. You have to look at it from a perspective of course, make sure your financial resources are in order because things cost money, but also making sure you find community, build community, invest in yourself is important. For example, I like to do yoga, Pilates, go to events. That's how you get to meet people or just extend your community with the right people, which is important. And so I think is, as, I'm single and waiting, but also make sure I'm constantly pouring into myself, because I think sometimes the misconception is, oh, you're single and you don't have things to do, you don't have an outlet. Yes, I do have an outlet. I have me. I'm the outlet. And, constantly staying connected at church with others, even outside of church, friends, family. I'm a sister, I'm a daughter, I'm a godmom. So, I have to constantly pour into myself. And I think that's the biggest misconception sometimes. Make sure you continue to pour into yourself and grow, because that's how you're going to grow as a person. So when your person does come, you know who you are as a person.
I've said different strategies I invest in myself. Definitely grew up in church, so a lot of my identity started out playing music. So I think first thing was establishing a career, because you don't want to get with somebody and you don't have nothing. There's a lot of guys my age that really don't know what they do. So I think just finding at an early age was something that was a blessing from God, honestly. That education, go to school, getting a degree, being smart with my money, not just spending a bag on anything and everything, just because, I see this little cardigan, I'm not going to get 10,000 others, these same cardigans, so I'm going to just be mindful, the future and everything, instead of just thinking present and stuff to invest myself.
I think for me, big thing, kind of reiterating some of the things that you guys said, education is huge. I think that knowledge, just not only as far as school, but in other topics. So for example, investing, stocks, property opportunities, a wide range or a wide variety of things that you can have your hands in or learn about, so that way you can kind of create some type of not only stability, but a nice stream of income later on in life. I also think that in your community, I think that's huge. I'm big on networking. meeting people, shaking hands, getting to know things, learning things about them, sharing things about myself. And I think that kind of helps prepare things in the future as well.
Okay. I invest in myself by being intentional with being my best self. Also, everyone seemed to mention finances, but no one mentioned credit. So for me, my goal, once I get into that relationship and tie the knot, like, he needs good credit. And I need good credit because, like, your credit is actually worth more than your money. And it'll stretch further. So, like, if you're investing in yourself, you have to, like, future-proof yourself. And the best way to future-proof yourself is to not only have a stable financial backing, but a good credit score as well.
I love that. So y'all made some good points about having that solid foundation on how you see yourself. And so let's move into relationships. So the next question is, how do you stay grounded in your faith and maintain your sense of self when cultural and societal pressures to settle down might seem overwhelming?
I think that knowing, first of all, learning who you are genuinely as a person, and then remembering and like solidifying yourself with being okay with who you are, if that makes sense. Because it's easy, as you said, like getting out into the world, you see so many different things, you encounter different people, different beliefs, different whatever backgrounds, but one thing is like, if your foundation is solid as far as who you are, I feel like it's easy to be, I won't say easy, but it's less challenging to be wavering from thing or topic to topic or anything that could kind of be a distraction or mislead you or misguide you off of, like I said, who you are in your base.
And just to add to that, I definitely agree. There is so much in society now. Social media is a big factor that plays a factor in all of this. I try to stay off of it myself, but it's so much that people that say that they are experts of certain things and they want to make videos and all these things for thousands of people to watch. And so going back to your point, I agree. Just making sure you are staying grounded in who you are, your foundation, staying connected to church, going to church, reading the word, staying in the word, devotionals. That's the first thing you do in the morning when you wake up. So those things can help you further your day, your outlook, or whatever you're looking for, whatever you are trying to, if you're trying to be in a relationship, or are you interested in dating, or if you're not, and that's okay as well. Some people are there and they're not. But if you're thinking about it, those are some, gotta stay grounded in who you are as a person. Don't stray away from who you are as a person. Continuing to, like you said, to learn yourself, because you change over time. What you might have wanted at 25 is different from 35, 40, whatever the case may be. It's going to change. It's not going to be the same thing. And then also making sure you continue to, going back to that investing in yourself with therapy, mental health, because all of that plays a factor in who you are, because we're being so much being thrown in our direction, but you got to make sure you are catching the right things, and so that makes a difference.
How I stay grounded in my faith, it brings back to a lot of the church. I grew up in church. My parents are actually, my dad's a pastor, and so just being in that kind of just gives me a comfort, because I know in our society, like, it's kind of crazy now. Things not what it used to be, and it seems like almost getting worse and worse. So, like, if I have like certain questions about stuff and I see stuff that used to be on TikTok, which I'm glad is banned, by the way, because I felt like it was like really kind of a detriment to our generation, me personally. I kind of asked my parents, because, they're older and then full of wisdom and stuff. And I have older parents too, so you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just kind of like a boost for me, So everything, that I start with is God. Try to, don't put myself in the way, because once I put myself in the way, then you get arrogant and then you get lost. And you already lost the battle at that point. So definitely having to remind myself that, like, God is the center, and getting advice from people that's, ministers and pastors and people that actually have intellectual knowledge about spiritual and reality. So, yeah.
Okay, as for me, my servicehood helps me stay grounded. It's hard to not be grounded in your faith when you're always serving. Like, really, everything I do is centered around serving God in some capacity. Even if it's volunteering and helping the community, well, those are God's people. So I'm providing my time to the least of thee and helping them out, and that keeps me like centered, and it makes the grand scheme of things a lot clearer. And then on a personal level, I feel I want to make sure I don't fall into some of the mistakes I fell into earlier in life. So the younger me, once I totally lost myself because I was consumed by, I don't know, I think I over romanticized the whole thing. And so like when the relationship fell apart, so did I. So now it's important for me to know who I am, whose I am, and to have a purpose, because like you can't get with someone and love someone fully and completely, or even forgive or all those things, if you can't first do them for yourself. So that's where I am.
Awesome. So investing in yourself.
Yeah, let me add to that. Even when it comes down to, I want to go back to the first portion of it. Say, how do you stay grounded in your faith and maintain your sense of self? And maybe I could say this: if you don't have a sense of self, somebody will tell you about yourself, and then you'll be at a point where you can say you love God, but if they have another spiritual dynamic that they're coming from, where they're Muslim, where they're Buddhist, and now you're in a place where you're following them instead of them following you. So with that in mind, does it matter what type of background that the individual that you're dating has, if they are Muslim, if they're Buddhist or Catholic, whatever the case may be? Does that matter to you?
No. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it matter, because like I said, like I think in years, like that's just me personally. I think years, so it's like life is spiritual. Like everybody likes to deny it, but it's spiritual. Like so, I think it wouldn't work if we don't see eye to eye, because you got to be equally yoked. Like that's a thing in the Bible. So like it literally means what it says. So if it's not that, then it can't work. So yeah, you got to be same page.
But Isaiah, what if she fine though? What if she?
That's temptation. That's temptation. See, that's temptation. You see that all the time.
Anybody? What are your thoughts?
Most definitely, we need to be walking the walk together. No judgment. I don't judge anyone. That's not who I am. I stay in my lane. But if I know what I want and what I'm trying to achieve, we need to be under the same umbrella and what that looks like, equally yoked. Yes, always. And so, like I said, no judgment to anyone, because that's not my place, right? But it goes back to what you said a few minutes ago. You have to, continue to learn the things that you may have tried before, or you may have experienced, to make sure you don't make the same mistakes or same pattern cycles. Got to break cycles. And so you continue to grow in that, and also know you have to be firm in what you want and no compromise.
And I think although it may start off cool in the beginning, it's eventually going to cause conflict. Because I can't be on my knees praying and you're out charging your crystals in the full moon. Like, it's just not going to align. So, we need to be on one accord. Yeah.
I think they pretty much summed it up, like equally yoked. That's all you have to. That's it. That's all you have to say.
Yeah. So investing in yourself, being grounded in your faith, being equally yoked. Now, talking about dating burnout is real, especially when you feel like you're not meeting the right people. So how do you turn to God for strength and guidance during those times?
I think that I've learned, not that I'm an expert on dating or anything like that, but I've learned as I've gotten older that the same way that I used to pray for certain things that I wanted out of life, or that I wanted to learn, or I wanted God to bless me, like wisdom or a career or whatever you may be asking for in prayer, you can kind of do the same thing with a relationship, or for somebody, a partner that you would like God to send you. So that's kind of how I try to take it in. Like if it's not happening at that moment in time, it's not meant to happen at that moment in time. If that's what I'm asking God for, I know that at the right time, He will send that. So that's kind of how I approach it.
Listen, dating burnout is real. It can be exhausting. And so, to your point, you have to learn when to take a step back, readjust, refocus. Pastor Josh always talks about focusing. Like, focusing is very important in this season. And so it's a constant readjustment, refocus. And if that is your season, go. If not, it's okay to stay and remain and just continue working on yourself, continue to build yourself, continue to grow yourself. And when the time comes again around, if you want to pursue that again, dating again, put yourself back out there, then you have all the tools you need to try again. But it is a constant try again until you meet the right person.
I agree. And you also have to value yourself. Because me personally, there have been a lot of dates that I've declined. And it's like, I can already see now. I'm not going to waste your time. I'm not going to waste my time. This is not what I want to do for the rest of my life. And so you can't be so eager, so gung-ho to be taken out and wined and dined, because there are things attached to that moment, to that person, and you have to be very careful with who and what you associate yourself with, because it's very hard to get rid of associations and reputation. So you have to guard and protect your associations.
I think I was very naive. I kind of just looked at it from the point, I like the idea of dating. And I kind of be transparent. I ain't really involved God because I thought it was weird to a certain extent. Comes I prayed God for a wife, but I be fooling around and do what I wanted to do. So I kind of just like the idea, but it just never worked. It's everybody I was with just never worked. And so I have to realize when I finally get to a place of being alone, I'm okay, I get it now. And listening to people like you all, just getting advice from podcasts and different things like that. In the Bible, most importantly, I just kind of just was okay, I'm starting to get it now. It's more so spiritual pattern rather than a physical pattern and everything. And so, like you said, I was eager mainly, just very eager. So yeah, so now I'm just getting to a place where I'm okay, settling down.
Yeah, they'll get you. People can smell it.
You're right.
They can smell. They know when you're just overzealous and just she wants something bad. So I can just present myself a certain way just to, and then once I got her, I'll just show her the real me. But you got to be careful. Yeah.
So in other words, people can sense when you're thirsty.
Basically.
Yeah. So that's why I was trying to figure out if you're gonna go that way. And then I was gonna ask this question with that in mind. How is it, because some people, they date because it's hard for them just to be alone. So the question is, many of you, have you ever been in a space where you were just good being by yourself?
Oh yes, I'm there now. I'm good, but it's not that I want to be alone forever, because I don't, but I'm very content. My life is very peaceful, and it's ooh, do I really want to even give you the opportunity to disturb this peace that I have? Seriously. So for me, in order for me to let someone in, so many things have to align. I must know it's God, because I don't have time for, and you have to be careful with that too, because the enemy knows God's words too. So it takes time. It's for me, you have to be consistent for a long time. And I do things on purpose. I mean, I'll not answer on purpose just to see, are you, what is this? Are you going to give up easily? If I don't respond to you, is it oh, I don't have time? Well, if you want me, you're going to need to have time. Seriously. So it's how bad do you want it? So I don't really go off of words much, but it's all action based with me. And even with my lifestyle, are you okay with that? The direction God is taking me, are you willing to come with me? Because if God has me on an assignment and he has something for me to do, and your mate, the male that he may not agree, and he may feel threatened or intimidated, but he needs to understand that, okay, you're approaching me, this is my life. If we are together as one, in a unity, yes, I'll make compromises, but in this stage in my life, I will not. So it's the person that's for me will align, and I believe God will align his life with mine so that there would be no collisions.
Just to add to that, I am a person, even before, if I'm in a relationship or not, I've always been one to do things by myself. I'm okay with going to a movie, going to dinner, concert, whatever the case may be. I'm comfortable with that. And so that person would have to understand that I'm okay, doing things together, but also I'm comfortable in who I am. And so you know, that's something I think people kind of grapple with, to your point of loneliness. You have to, I don't think it's about loneliness per se so much. I think it's about going back, knowing who you are, being comfortable with yourself. And you can do things by yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. But also to your point too, you just don't want someone just to have someone, to say I have somebody. And so that's another part of loneliness too, because you can be with somebody, but are y'all really together? You can be with somebody and still be lonely. I think that's another misconception people don't understand. Yeah, you got somebody, but y'all ain't really, we don't see no energy, no connection is there. And that's another type of loneliness. So before you say you want to be with someone, make sure you're comfortable with yourself, doing stuff by yourself, going places, events, things like that, and showing up by yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. Going to a restaurant, sitting down, having dinner. And then when the person comes along, you know how to be comfortable with you and them. So not just having the sake of just having somebody. I think that's what society has, this thing of you got to have somebody just to have somebody.